This one is on volume of prisms, so it's going to be a little bit of a review of what we did in 6th grade. We're going to focus on rectangular and triangle prisms and finding their volume. So a real quick introduction is talking about what is volume. What does it mean? Well, the volume of a three-dimensional figure is the amount of space inside the figure. It's measured in cubic units. So the units for volume are always going to be to the third, or cubed. And that's because you have three different measurements. You have a length, a width, and a height. It's in 3 dimensions, so our units are cubed, or to the third. The thing of volume is how many cubes can fit inside the figure. So if we were to actually stack up a bunch of cubes and pack the entire shape, how many would fit inside of there? That's what it means by finding the volume of this prism. Well, there are 6 cubes across and 2 cubes going up. So that means in each of these layers, there are 12 cubes. And then if you look going back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers of cubes. So think of it as there's 12 in each layer, and we stack them 6 deep. That means there are 72 cubes total. So we would say it has a volume of 72 units cubed. It's literally figuring out how many cubes, how many little blocks could we fit inside of this shape. So here's where you got to be a little more careful. With our volume, there's 2 different ways of going about this. One is the easy way, rectangular prisms. To find the volume, we do length times width times height. So length times width times height. We just multiply the 3 measurements together, just like we did in that warm-up problem. It was 6 by 2, and then it was 6 deep, so we did 6 times 2 times 6. Here, for triangular prisms, or frankly for any other type of prism, the volume is something called capital B times height, where B is the area of the base. And that's really what our rectangular prism formula really is. Length times width is really the area of the base, the area of the rectangular face, times the height. Same thing here. Triangular prism, we find the area of the triangle, and then we multiply times the height. But that capital B means find the area of whatever the base, or the main face of it is, and then multiply times your height going backwards. So we can do that here. For a rectangular prism, and it's always good to focus on what kind of shape is it. This one, it's a rectangular face. To find our volume, we just do 3 times 9.5 times our distance going back times 5. Again, I have to see that work shown written down. What were you multiplying together to get your answer? And then it's just a multiplication problem. 3 times 9.5 times 5 gives us a volume of 142.5. We're dealing in meters, so it's going to be meters cubed. That one's the easy one. Now let's take a look at a couple of them where they're not rectangular, so it's not just length times width times height. Here, you'll notice that I have a triangular face, and I like to kind of highlight that face to make me really focus in on it. So my formula was capital B times H. Well, capital B just means the area of the front face. In this case, our triangle. So to find our volume, we find the area of the triangle. Well, it's got a base of 8, a height of 6, so 8 times 6. But it's a triangle, so we have to make sure we divide by 2. So basically we did all the work for finding the area of the triangular front face, and then we multiply by our height, our distance going back. So we do 8 times 6 divided by 2 times 9, and we get a volume of 216 feet cubed, or cubic feet. So again, focus on the face, the base of the shape. What is it? How do I find its area? And then multiply times my height going back. Same thing here. Again, you'll notice I have a triangular base. That's my base here. Because everything else is going to be rectangles. We know that about a prism, but we're looking at that front piece here in this case. It's a triangle. So again, to find my volume, first I have to find the area of that triangle. base times height, but it's a triangle, so I have to divide by 2. Remember, base and height always meet at that right angle, so always look for that right angle, and then multiply times your distance going back, times 6. So 7 times 3 divided by 2 times 6. And I get 63 yards cubed. So the key is that capital B. That capital B means the area of whatever shape makes up the base. Basically, whatever is not a rectangle in your shape. That's your base for these. Find the area of that base, and then multiply times your height, the distance going back from that face. Basically, think of it as finding the area of that piece, and then the number going back is how many layers you have of that same amount. So to finish up, now it's your turn. On the back of the page, there's a couple of problems, I believe 4 problems that are yours to practice. Again, use your formulas, think through it step by step. The last one might be a little bit tricky. My suggestion is go back and think about what does that capital B represent in the formula. Okay, it doesn't just mean for triangles. What does that capital B mean? Use that to help you find your volume. Good luck.